3 times the number, how would we write that? 3x, good. Increased by, what does that mean? Plus addition, increased by 5. Wanna pick up your pencil? Is 20, what does that mean? Equals 20. And it's one of the easiest things we do all year. Just got to read it and then write it down. All right. 14 less than the cube root of a number. So you have the cube root of a number, and then you want 14 less than that. So how do you write a cube root? Like, what does that symbol look like? Yeah, it's a little square root with a 3 outside. So cube root of a number, and you want 14 less than that. So you would say minus 14. 2 times, or that's multiplication, the difference of a number. That means you're going to need parentheses. What does difference mean?
Subtraction.
Perfect. Subtract. So 2 times difference of a number and 6. So you're going to have x minus 6. The quantity, that also means you need parentheses. You're going to give it a hug. The quantity of a number and 10. That's just x plus 10. You want a quantity of something. Like if I want to know the quantity of how many students I have in this class, we just add you all up. Okay, adding. Divided by 5. There's 2 ways you can do that. You can either put this little division symbol and say divided by 5, or what's the other way? Like a divider. I like that. Fraction bar 5. So either way, that means the same. This is harder. We're going to do this the other way around. I say it's harder because you have to write words. Okay. For this one, you would say 17 times. Now, would we say the sum or the difference? Why sum? Adding. 17 times the sum of a 5 and a number. So 17 times the sum, because it's adding, of 5 and a number, and then to finish it off, is 2 or equals 2. Either way. This is matching on your test. So you're going to have all the statements and all the things and like match them together. So you'll have choices. All right, how about this one? Good. The sum of 8. Good. Squared. You only say root if you see the like root symbol, square root or cube root. Yes. Yeah, I gotcha. The sum of 8 and a number squared. And I also apologize for my handwriting. I have pretty good handwriting with numbers and symbols and like math stuff. And then as soon as I try to write words, it all sort of falls apart. I grew up in the years of when they made us do cursive, and then that sort of went away. So it's like half cursive and half printed. If you ever can't read something, I'm not offended. Just tell me. All right, now these ones, you are going to simply type them in the calculator. So let me pull up my calculator. And what are the only numbers? What are the only letters that the calculator won't do? X and Y. So just change them to something else. I usually say just do A and B. All right, so for this one, it's 5XZ. So I'm going to do 5AZ, like just change it to something else. But can you guys please pay attention? I don't want anyone to miss this. You should all get it right. All right, minus 2, and I'm going to change the Y to a B. And then you just come down here and tell it what you want all the letters to be. We want A to be 3, that was X. We want B to be -5, good. And then Z, I didn't have to change. Z equals 1. Your answer is 25. That's it. That's all you have to do. So it's just typing. I'm going to do all 4 of them to make sure you know how to type all of the symbols. Okay, so just hang with me here. So this next one is going to be 2A. Again, watch me type it. Let me get rid of all this. 2A plus B, and then square root. You can either type SQRT, and again, you guys know how to do all your texting with, you know, SMH and LOL and all, you know all those abbreviations. You can remember SQRT. Or if you can't, open your little menu here and your square root's right there. So either way. C minus 6. And then I'm going to come down here. A is -4. B is 1/2. C is 22. There's your answer, -6. I'm pretty sure this next one is the one that messed you guys up on the quiz. Do you remember how to type a cube root? Perfect. You guys listened to me. CBRT. Or if you can't remember CBRT for cube root, go in here into your menu, go into functions, and it's like all the way at the bottom. It's right there. Okay. But either way, I just type CBRT because I feel like that's easier. I don't have to open this whole menu. A minus 4b squared. And then I'm going to come down here and make A, B, 7, thank you. You're following along with me. And B is, thank you, you're reading along with me. -2. The answer is -13. I'll do that last one as well. Again, I'm going to do them all so that you know how to type all these. Now, that has an absolute value in it. I don't have an abbreviation for that one. You have to go into the menu, but it's right there at the front. Do you see that right there? If you ever are taking a quiz or test, heads up, and you can't find something, just open this menu and look around in here. Like it's got to be somewhere. Okay. -3 minus x. And then that whole thing is divided by, oh wait, I can't do x. Let me change that to a. And then it's divided by y plus z, but I'm going to make that b plus z. All right. We want a to be whatever x is. So 5, we want b to be whatever y is, which is negative. Oh, I didn't even need to change that. And then z is 6. Oh, wait, did I type it right? Okay. Calculators are great, but if you type one thing wrong, it's going to be wrong, which is unfortunate. So that's why I like for you guys to watch me type it, make sure I didn't mess anything up. 2 is the answer. That's all you got to do. Those should all be correct answers, right? Down here, define the variable. We're going to use x and write an expression. It's $15 to see a movie, $4 per snack. That's what we want the x to be. So x is your number of snacks. And then write the expression. It would be 15 plus 4x. That's all you got to do. 4x plus 15. Yep, absolutely. I actually kind of like that way better because it looks like the y equals mx plus b. Remember mx plus b and lines and stuff and slope and all that we did? Yeah, either way, means the same thing. How much will you pay if you purchase 3 snacks? You can use the calculator, but let's see if you guys can do this without it. Yeah, 3 times 4 is 12. You're just plugging 3 in. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 15 is 27. Oh, just because it says 3. Like if you bought 3 snacks, like we just plug 3 in for x. So 3 times 4 is 12. And then 12 plus 15 was 27. You could use the calculator too. I didn't feel like opening the calculator. All right. All right. Anything in the world to the 0 power is 1. Good. It is 1. Can I show you something? If you don't remember, look it. Now, this won't do variables, but give me a single digit number. Well, let's not do one. Let's do 2. Look, or here, 26. We'll do that. To the power 0. Do you see that? So if you ever forget or you're not sure, you can type it in. It just won't do variables. So like, don't type an X or anything. What about 10 billion? To the 0 power is here. Do you want me to show you? Yeah, look. 10 billion. I didn't lie to you. All right, let's write out our little cheat sheet. It is PEMDAS. The E just stands for that they are exponent rules. This only applies to exponents. All the other basic numbers in the problem, like the coefficients, those just act as normal. These are just exponent rules, okay? They are just exponent rules. And the rule is when you have a power, you multiply. When you multiply, you add. And when you divide, you subtract. But I usually just tell you to treat it like a tug of war. Remember that? Tug of war, which side wins? All right. So here you are multiplying. Do you see that little dot? Multiply means you add. So 17 plus 5 is 23. And if you didn't, 22. Sorry, I can add. I know some days I'm not. You can always type that into the calculator, which I probably needed to, obviously. All right, for this one, you have a power. Do you see that? Power means that you multiply. Good. So 4 times 5 is 20. That's all you're doing. Here you are dividing. So you're going to subtract. Now this x really has a 1 there, so 9 minus 1 is 8. So this is one of the easiest things we do. 9 minus 1 is all that you're doing. Now here you're multiplying. If you want to like stick a little dot in between there, you can. 2 times 6. 12. It's multiplication. 2 times 6 is 12. Now put x. When you multiply, that means for your exponents, you want to add. Okay? So for x, you're doing 3 plus 7, which is 10. And then for y, you're doing 5 plus 4, which is 9. That's all that it is. Now this one has an extra step in here because of this cube. So basically, we're going to ignore this for right now. Okay? In fact, just recopy it. We're going to have times negative 5x to the 8th. We're not doing anything with that right now. Just rewrite it. Like, hey, Miss Cole, looks like you just rewrote the same thing. Can you guys focus for me? We're going to take all of this to the third. 2 to the third power is not 6. If you aren't sure, oh, hold on. It is 8, whoever said 8. 2 to the third power is 8. It means 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 to the third power is 8. All right, but I just put that in the calculator. Then put x. Now this is a power, which means that you are going to multiply. Good. So 5 times 3 is 15. And then for y, you're doing 6 times 3, which is 18. Cool. So we got through the first step. We just did all this stuff to the third power. Now we're going to multiply these together. If you want more parentheses, you can put them. It's up to you. You don't really need them in that case. But if you're like, hey, I want to give hugs, you can do that. We're multiplying. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. But if you didn't know that, put it in the calculator. All right, for x, you're multiplying, which means for your exponents, you want to add. Good. So 15 plus 8 is 23. You can type 15 plus 8 in the calculator. And then y to the 18th is kind of just there. There weren't any y's over here to combine it with, so it's just y to the 18th. That's all that is. Cool. Down here, we're doing to the 4th power. 4 to the 4th power. If you don't know what that is, calculator. All right, so here, I'll type it. 4 to the 4th power is 256. The reason that's such a big number is it means 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Right, so 256. Then put x. This is a power, which means you do what with your exponents? Multiply. 7 times 4 is 28. Thank you. Yeah, it's fine. And then this y really has a 1 there. So if you multiply 1 times 4 is just 4. You could kind of just look at it and go y to the 4th. All right, for this one, draw your divider. We're going to play tug of war. Which side, and I'm looking for top or bottom or numerator or denominator, wins for A? Good, the top. By how much? 7. That's all you got to do. Now this B really has a 1 with it. So the bottom wins by 8. Good job. That's it. Now we're going to do the exact same thing for this one. There's just a little bit more to it. 9/12. Does that reduce? Here, you know what? If you're not sure, I'll show you. Let's go to the calculator and type in 9/12. Oh, you're saying it is 3/4. Just type it in. All right. So 3/4. Do you guys see how I did that? Now, which side wins for x? Bottom. By how much? 13. Good job. Hey. And then y wins on the top by 9. Oops, I forgot to hit play, so that question didn't record. I'm sorry if you're watching the video, it kind of skipped time there. All right, here, draw your divider. Do you see how the x is negative? Gonna go to the other side. Now for the y's, nothing's negative, so I don't have to worry about that. We're just gonna do basic tug of war. Which side wins? The top by how much? 2. That's it. Do you have a question? Yeah. Are you understanding it? Okay. All right, down here. 18, here, let's draw our divider. 18 divided by 3. Does anyone know that? Or I can pull the calculator back up. But 18 divided by 3 is 6. Good job. Why'd I put it on the top?
It's 6 over
Yeah, 18 is, or 6 over 1. That's a good way of thinking it. But 18 is bigger is kind of how I think of that. Now, when you have a power, that means that you multiply. -4 times -2 is +8. 4 times 2 is 8. The negatives canceled. Down on the bottom, 5 times 3 is 15. A power means you multiply. I know that doesn't sound good. Are you okay? All right, and then you're going to play tug of war. Which side wins for X? The bottom. By how much? 7. 6 over X to the 7th. This X is on the denominator because that was the one that was bigger. All right, over here, do you see all these zeros? Anything to the 0 power is 1, which essentially means that it's gone. Do you see how all of this is to the 0? Get rid of it. If it's to the 0 power, it's going to go away. Anything times 1 doesn't change. Yeah, so the X also goes away, but this doesn't. So you have to do 5 squared, which is not 10. Thank you. 5 times 5 is 25. Good job. This is going well. Now this one, this looks pretty intense. What I'm going to do is just leave the squared there for a second. One thing at a time. Let's just do the part that's inside. 5 divided by 3, does that reduce? No, so just do nothing. If it doesn't work, just leave it alone. If it isn't broken, don't fix it. Like, just leave that there. Now we're going to do our tug of war. Which side wins for X? The top. By 4. Good. What happens to the Y's? They cancel. Don't write it. If it's gone, it's gone. The common mistake is people stick a Y in there. Just don't put anything. Now this Z has a 1, so good. The bottom wins by 4. Cool. It already looks a whole lot better at this point. Almost done with the last one. Now we're going to square everything. 5 squared is not 10. It is 25. You can always put it in the calculator. What do you think for X? What are we going to do with these two numbers? Multiply. So 4 times 2 is 8. On the bottom, 3 squared is not 6. It's 9. Good job. And then for Y, oh, sorry, I changed the letter entirely. Z, sorry. My bad. What do you do when you have a power for your exponents? Power means multiply. I want you to all write this on your test as soon as you get it. Power means multiply. So 4 times 2 is 8, and that is your answer.